President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown leadership by recognizing and rewarding our daughters who had excelled on the continental stage. President.
All right, that's Vice President Kashim Shettima there receiving the trophy from the Tigress. But it's part of stories that Olamide will be bringing us up to speed about on stories that are trending now. So
you were too excited. You couldn't wait to get into it, of course. I've got some good stories for you guys. Can I take it away?
Take it away.
Take it away. Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment on the TVC Breakfast Show, we do our best to bring you stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with some good news, where Nigeria's women athletes are finally getting their flowers, along with substantial rewards following their recent continental triumphs. President Bola Tinubu has honored the national women's basketball team, the Tigress, with a generous reward package after the historic 5th consecutive AfroBasket title. Now, each player is to receive $100,000, while members of the 11-man coaching and technical crew will get $50,000 each. In addition to this, all team members and staff will receive a 3-bedroom flat in the renewed Hope Estate and have been conferred with national honors as officers of the Order of the Niger. At the state level, the Ondo State Governor, Honorable Lucky Ayedatiwa, has also rolled out significant rewards for Super Falcons defender Tosin Demei, who he described as a source of pride for the state. These rewards mark a growing recognition of Nigerian women's excellence in sports and the value of showing up for the nation. Now, Honorable Lucky Ayedatiwa, he did give Demei 30 million naira and her coach 15 million naira. That's not a small feat. It's important that we continually encourage young Nigerian talent that takes us to a global stage. Sport is a very tangible export. Let's take a look at social media. Moving on to real world matters, dozens of retired Nigerian soldiers yesterday barricaded the main entrance of the Federal Ministry of Finance in Abuja, demanding payment of outstanding entitlements. Now, the aggrieved ex-servicemen are demanding the release of their unpaid gratuities, security department allowance, and their salary shortfalls. This is very interesting, as well as other benefits. Take a look at this video.
After 21 years, some of us, our legs are cut, some of us, our hands are cut, some of us, we are not complete anymore. Then you can't pay us our money complete. You cannot give up.
There were increments in the system. The increment is supposed to reflect on a new shaft, but they are still using the old one to pay. After some time, we wrote to them. We were expecting them to write back to us that there's an increment. They never write back, meaning they are sitting on top of that money. Until after we make a little protest, they now pay partially out of that money, meaning our money.
Now, the Military Pensions Board says that retirees who disengage as of the 1st of July 2024 are not eligible for the new minimum wage, which the protesters are describing as unacceptable. Now, the senior finance ministry officials, including the permanent secretary yesterday, later met with selected protest leaders and MPB representatives behind closed doors. And the ministry says that their demands are being reviewed, but the protesters insist that they will not back down until funds are released and payments begin. But the bigger question remains, why can't we look after the people who served at our front lines, who once protected us? If we are treating retired service members this way, what message are we sending to those in uniform? But moving on, the United States mission in Nigeria has issued a firm warning to Nigerian students currently studying in the United States and other international visa holders, stressing the consequences of violating student visa conditions. Now, in a statement posted on its official X handle on Monday, the mission warned international students who skip classes, drop out of school, or withdraw without proper notification of the risk of having their visas immediately revoked. Now, beyond losing their current visa, the violators could also be barred from obtaining any future U.S. visa. To avoid immigration complications, the mission urged all student visa holders to comply fully with the terms of their stay by attending their classes regularly, maintaining academic status, and informing their schools promptly of any changes in their study plans. Now, the advisory comes amid growing scrutiny of international student compliance with immigration rules. I have to say the U.S. mission in Nigeria is increasingly vocal on social media. This is a stern warning to you. Take your studies very seriously. Now, this is very interesting and very sad, team. We're seeing retired soldiers coming out to protest at the Ministry of Finance in Abuja yesterday. They're saying they've not been paid. There was a lot of public sentiment online saying that the government is dashing out, millions of naira to sporting stars, and yet people, servicemen who served us diligently at the front line for decades of their lives, are not being adequately compensated.
Yeah, first it was retired police officers, now is retired soldiers. The issue I see here is that most departments, parastatals, and agencies are not adequately funded. Even those that are funded, corruption in the system always rears its ugly head when it comes to things like this. It's really sad when you see people that have given the whole of their lives in service to the country having to beg for what is rightfully theirs. I pray that they get their entitlements paid and so on, and saying those that disengaged on the particular date are not entitled to the increment and all that. That's a lot of problems that is brewing. The visa thing made me laugh when I saw it. So now you must go to class. Make sure you go to class. If not, your visa is out. It's just all these visa tightening things in the US, in Britain, and so on that is going on. Countries are being a little bit more conservative. But when it gets to the point where you're asking students to ensure that they go to class, I think that's a little bit too pedestrian, so to say. Now, the Tigress, these girls have gotten their monies. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for making Nigeria proud. That's my reaction to that.
Okay, I'll pick it up from there, talking about the Tigress. Like I mentioned earlier on the show, if these ladies were our sisters, would we question the monies they are receiving? We would not. And so because the president, in his wisdom, feels that these people qualify or need these monies and that he feels that they should be rewarded as such, that's why he's giving them that reward. I think that our challenge is where we channel our grievances to and how we do so. If we have grievances with any level of government, then we can, meet with the government to have conversations regarding any issues we have grievances for, be it the payment of salaries, the welfare of nurses or whoever. I think that it has no reason to come into this matter as that we are speaking. The Tigress worked for the money and whatever it is government is giving them, and so be it. Now, for those protesting soldiers, it's a pity that this is where we have come to as a country. I think that we need to investigate what if it is contributory pension scheme that they are not receiving what they were supposed to get. Investigations should begin as we speak. Who are the agencies that are meant to disburse what they say is their entitlement that are not giving them what is due them? Who are those at the helm of affairs that are supposed to give these people what they deserve that are not giving it to them? What happened? Was there corruption? We need to beam our searchlight into areas where perhaps there must have been corruption taking place that is denying these people of what is rightfully theirs. And so they should begin to engage the right people, because yes, the attention has gotten to them right now, saying they are protesting and all. But they must ensure that at the end of the day, they get the result they need to get. And that is where engagement, strategic engagement, comes in.
All right, and I'll pick up from there. On this table, a lot of times we've spoken about this. These people, this is their right. Olamide, I don't know if you remember when we spoke about the fact that some of them were praying. I think those were the police officers. They were praying for their pensions to be paid. And when I see things like this, I'm like, who is the person sitting on this? Look at these people. You can tell that they are not so well to do. They've worked for the country. And at the end of the day, how do you want to encourage more people to do things for Nigeria if we see people that have, put their lives down now crying and praying that they get their pension? So please, I really pray that we look into this. This is not a thing of fun. They're not supposed to be protesting. I know the other time there was a protest, they said something will will be done, but these are soldiers now. So what is happening? Like, who is the person holding these people's money? It's getting really, really sad and worrisome. But moving on, talking about sports, I think that the ladies deserved it, and it's good that it was given to them. And one thing I'm happy about is what was given to the Super Falcons was given to the Tigress as well. There was no discrimination. It shows that the both of them have done a great job in making Nigeria proud, and we totally love it for them. I just don't like the fact that when it comes to things like this, we're always comparing. We always say, oh, you've given the sport people this, the health sector is suffering. But these people have done something, so they really need to be accoladed. And when they get all these accolades, it will make other people want to come into, to come into sports, because they think that if you do well in it, you'll get something rewarding from it. And just quickly, the last one, the student visa. At the end of the day, when I saw the story, let's speak on the good side. Why would you pay so much to go to America and not go to classes? So now they're telling you to go to class by force.
Of course, some people would just probably use student visa to, jump out of the country, and then the class is just the secondary. Yeah. But one thing is, Trump is clamping down on foreign nationals, immigrants, and UK is also following suit, and some other Western countries. So much so that they are refusing a whole lot of people visas, even people who had traveled before. And then that's just one thing. But one thing is, they are actually clamping down on people that are permanent residents, mostly, not people that come for tourist visa or maybe student visa. They're just trying to use that as a facade, because it's much more than what we see beyond it. Talk about soldiers, that reminds me of a very young boy that I met, in my recent travels. I was just asking, just having a fun conversation, what do you like to become? He said he wants to be a police officer, and I was so shocked. I want to be a police officer. How come? From the blue. He said because he likes it. Do you want the money? He said, well, the money is just something on the sideline, but I really love the job because I want to maintain order. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I also spoke with some British police, policemen too, who said that they are happy doing what they are doing. That it's just one of the things, service to humanity, to their country, serving their nation. Is it the same thing we can say about our own people here? The soldiers, the policemen. So I think people who are taking care of these people should ensure that they do the needful. We have insecurity right on our hands. We have so many problems bedeviling our nation that is not making us move forward. If there is no security, how do we talk about growth? How do we talk about development? So please, whoever is doing this, try to fear God. At least one day, fear God. Know that you'll be accountable, for whatever it is that you've done on this earth.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your input as always. I'll take some more stories. Moving on in the world of social media, in a controversial move to clamp down on sex work, the Edo State Diaspora and Migration Agency, the EDMA, has paraded a group of alleged commercial sex workers, many of whom are reportedly non-indigents, in a public campaign against what it calls a moral decay. Now, the Director General, Chief Lucky Aguzua, says the agency's goal is deterrence, not cruelty. And a now viral video circulating on social media shows the women being lined up and displayed, part of what the EDMA describes as an effort to combat sex trafficking and restore societal values. They say that under Governor Monday Opeolo, billions have been invested in education, and yet sex trading persists. The agency accuses the women of defiling Edo youths and advises them to pursue skill acquisition instead. But of course, this parade has sparked backlash online, with many questioning whether the approach is an effective deterrence or a violation of human rights. For critics, the real issue isn't just about morality. It's about poverty, lack of opportunity, and a system that is pushing young women into sex work in the first place. I think that instead of exploiting instead of watching how these young women are being exploited and paraded, we should actually focus on the issues at hand. What are the systemic problems that are pushing them into sex work? Let's take a look at social media. Tolu Odola says, after parading them, engage them so that they don't go back to the same trade. And the Duke of Africa says, this is very wrong at Police Nigeria. Is this allowed? The Nigeria police has even been barred from publicly parading criminals, not to talk of parading innocent people. Indeed. Moving on, still in the world of TV and social media. As Big Brother Naija Season 10 heats up with budding romances and bold social dynamics, not everyone is impressed. Activist, lawyer, Maduabu Achi Idam is trending after filing a formal petition to the National Broadcasting Commission, the NBC, calling for the reality show to be banned or at least strictly regulated, warning that if no action is taken within 30 days, he will pursue legal redress in court. In his petition, EDMA has accused the show of promoting obscene, indecent, and profane content, which is contrary to the NBC Act of 1999. He says that just 2 weeks into the new season, the show has already displayed what he describes as real-time pornographic actions with little regard for public morality. He pointed out that the program lacks any clear sort of educational, artistic, or societal value, and yet it continues to air on national television and is frequently amplified on social media by the organizers of the show. But of course, this petition has raised the wider question: is he just overreacting, or is the BB Nigeria's display quietly shaping cultural norms in covert ways that we're not really aware of? The question is, where do we draw the line between entertainment and an erosion of public values? And should we be focused on content or cultural influence on our youth? Let's take a look at social media. Victor Lucian says, the program is strictly rated 18. The problem is from family who doesn't caution their younger ones from watching the program. We'll take one more submission. Petkoff says, but underage has access to watch 50 Shades of Grey across streaming platforms and DVD stores. It is rated 18. Parents should do their job of restricting minors' access to social media and put them on parental control. Them Gatsbad Trace and other music video channels. So before I hand over to my very capable team, I'd like you guys to please chime in on this segment with the hashtag TrendingNowTVC on any social media platform of your choice. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Team, this is very, very alarming. I have to say, the images coming out of the Big Brother Naija Season 10 household are quite disturbing. There is a lot of sex work, not sex work, but there is a lot of pornographic images, a lot of lewd and very sad displays going on. And as journalists, we know the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, they have their regulator, they have a duty to protect what is on air. Do you think that they have a role to play in all of this? Because he's petitioning them. Yes,
EDMA petitioning, you should know that the program is rated 18. It has a dedicated channel. And then DSTV, which is the platform at which they are airing this thing, has parental control in their stuff. So they will use that against you. You know, you are not supposed to allow your children watch channels like that. That's why from the very beginning I asked, what's the essence of the program? You know, what is it actually teaching us? What is the value you get after watching Big Brother Naija? And some people might say, it's because you are old school. I like being old school, my brother, when it has to do with that. It's at times you see these images and you wonder, is this the level at which we've gone? That's about that. For parading those women in Edo State, and you say you're trying to do, I think it's a breach of their constitutional rights. You know, you can't parade people like that. You can't. And after parading them, what next? You let them go and they go straight back into the same business, maybe in the same state. I don't think this is right.
And I'll touch on the Edo story, or the pictures coming out of Edo State. I think this is a wrong approach, and it will not address the root of the issues that are fueling these kinds of activities. Besides, where are the people who are perhaps engaging them in the duties that you say they are carrying out? It should be balanced. The women are there. Where are the men who are patronizing them?
Demand and supply.
I mean, if there is no market, they wouldn't be there. So I think that we should approach this holistically and look at how we can address it. What are the root causes of what is pushing these young ladies who have promising and bright futures into this business? That is the question we should be asking.
I don't know if it's just me, but Olamide and Veronica and everybody on this table, I don't think there's any form of poverty to push anybody into prostitution. I think maybe that's just my thought. I think there's so many things you can do. You can sell Zopo, you can sell Chinchi. See, there's so many things you can do rather than go into, prostitution. Well, I do not like the way they paraded them. That's wrong. But this is just to, women that are watching. You can do so many things. Prostitution is just a no, no, no.
Yeah, talking about prostitution, I think it was wrong that they paraded them because I think it's it's against the law. But talk about Big Brother, Well, while we're talking about it, though, some are being paraded while others are gaining national recognition on an international.
No, but they are
no, I didn't call it. I didn't say they are prostitutes. But the thing is, why do we complain about Big Brother? Because you have to pay, you have to subscribe, and then you have to for you to watch it means that you have paid for you to watch it. But I think it's bad enough. I think it's bad enough that they now bring it to social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that, where we have kids, having access to this. I think it's going beyond the boundaries, and even the logo, that one eye. I think I know so much about the unseen than to sit down here and glorify Big Brother.
Okay, but let me say something quickly. Let me say something quickly about Big Brother. We all know that Big Brother is rated 18. We know about that. And this show is entertainment. So I don't like the fact that every time people want to bash, that lawyer will not go anywhere with this case because it's purely 18.
What? Did you hear what I said? I told you about Facebook, Instagram, and all
why are the parents not regulating what their children are looking at?
How many parents
should regulate the phones? I think the parents can do better because Big Brother is here to stay and they'll keep doing it year in, year out.
I don't get it wrong.
That what the lawyer was saying essentially was that, of course, it's rated 18. We know that, and that's why it's allowed to be aired. But the fallout from the show, like you're saying, Ibrahim, on social media.
Bring it on our social media. For crying out loud.
The fallout from the show.
I won't sit and watch Big Brother, for instance. I won't ask any of my family members to sit
parents should regulate what their children look at on social media. Big Brother is rated 18, so.
Not on social media.
Exactly.
Anyway, we'll have to wrap things up here, but thank you, Olamide, for those stories. But let's let you know that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the ladies, and afterwards this morning with Yori Folarin. Stay safe. Bye.
Big sister.